parts.
More parts. Just when I thought it was safe to go back into the...
More parts show up.
He brings more shit to be painted. All right, you got the right paint. It looks like we got this.
We got the...
This is what Luciano likes the best. Buying gallons of paint, gallons of thinner. Oh, wow, you got it all.
Now, was this the slow?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know which was the right
We're not in any rush. We're not going to the races today. Okay, so this was our question that we have. Hold that up, Mark. We got to get Turbo Steve to make this decal. Now, so here's the thing, Turbo Steve. I'll send you a couple of pictures of this. And if all else fails, well,
we can measure it up.
Yeah, if I wanted to try to get this off in one piece, obviously we're not gonna. That may not happen. And let's see, the other side's okay. Let me see the other side.
Yeah, the other side.
Okay, if we could get that off in one piece, boy, that would make it a lot easier. But I don't know. So anyway, we did get today. I spent pretty much the whole last 2 or 3 days getting this stuff ready. Mark's now got the paint. Saturday's coming up for our big paint-a-thon. This still needs some body work. This is the last piece I was working on before Karen's making supper now. But
yeah, they look fantastic.
Yeah, well, look, it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
This is not.
And I brought the keys.
And he's got the keys to the. Thank you so much. You're such a good guy.
Right from Japan.
Right. Anyway, this labor of love is turning out. But that sticker, I'm hoping Turbo Steve can make that up. So
He might be able to. Let's hope.
Well, either that or we'll just deturboize him. We'll throw a banana in his turbo when he's not looking. Now, this is one of the parts that we have the most issues with so far. And when Mark was here last night, this was one of the ones we really were looking at with a very detailed eye. This is going to require well, several times we're going to go back and forth on this, but there's several spots on this that, and again, this is where it starts becoming a labor of love when you start picking out. In fact, there's a little spot right there. This is just. Another one there. What I'm doing is candling it. Every little bit of this gets candled. Now, this is going to sit for 15 minutes while I wet sand down some of the other parts and see if I can get some white on, because it isn't raining out there right now. So I would like to get a little test on the. This is already kicking off. And by the way, this is a product that. Let's see if I can get it up close. This is one of the best body for this kind of work. The best one I've found. Okay, time to see if this if all our hard work is going to start to pay off. The only problem is it's really cold. And it's not windy. Consistently, it's gusty. Anyway, if I can get all these little parts, at least the first coat of white, typically, this is really separated. The wheat from the chaff. You got to be able to paint in blizzard conditions here. Anyway, this will require 3 coats of white. And I know from the past, if you put 1 coat of white on, and you say, wow, that looks good enough, what happens? You paint another thing, it's not quite as white, and then you put the 2 things together and it doesn't really match like you want. And we really want our 2 strokes to live in infamy. We really do. It's really cold out here. Let's get a little look at what our handiwork. That's the first coat. We will need 3. And then these parts will be white, white, white. Like a good humor truck. Now what I'm able to do from time to time, this is not really the greatest trick in the world, but it does work. On gusty conditions, I try to box myself into this little area here. like I'm in prison or something. Anyway, there's another thing I explained to Mark last night, that even the parts that are going to be painted red on this project are going to be painted white first. The reason is sometimes when you actually paint a part over black or prime, and then you paint the same color over white, it changes, and red is the worst. Red is by far the worst. As Vlad found out the hard way. I guess we all find out the hard way. Now, I'm always tempted when I put this first coat of white on. My tendency is to put just a little bit more paint than necessary on, because if I do get a run or I do get an imperfection, I'll take some 600 sandpaper and just sand it out. I'd rather have a little bit too much paint on it. Whoa! You're always wondering, does he ever drop this stuff? Yes, he does. Boy, I have embarrassed myself. Usually when there's a crowd around. And tomorrow there'll be a crowd around. And you got to do this stuff on stage. It's a little bit more difficult. But we will get all the parts into that first coat of white, I'm sure. Based on the way the day looks, it doesn't look like we're going to have any issues with While some of our parts are out there drying, I thought I'd get this primed up and get the body work done on it. And as I went through it, I realized this has already been painted. I'm guessing it's red no, it's red paint. That's not plastic. Somebody has painted this twice already. So my goal here is going to be to sand as much of this paint off. And I also have this to deal with. I'm going to put some body putty or something there. This is you're going to see that, and there's a big, I don't know, big funny spot there. So before I prime this up and get this ready, and this is the kind of thing with a sanding block I can take care of. I don't want to make it any thicker than it has to be, so I'll do most of it with the sanding block, but the wind is blowing so much out there, it's really hard to paint, let alone videotape painting. But if it was easy, everybody'd be an astronaut. Yeah, that's going to need some Bondo. Alright, so we got Bondo. But as we go through these parts, one by one, picking up the errors. Now, once that white paint dries, once that dries up, then we're going to have to, maybe tomorrow even, because today's going to be a short day, we're going to have to color sand the white and put the next coat of white on. Now, again, we're using a trick that this is just our first roughest coat of primer. And I'm dry sanding it with the Lowe's Sandpaper 400. The whole reason is, this looks pretty nice. I have to admit, you don't see the mistakes. But this will help pick up mistakes that you don't normally see, little flaws. And since, if we were painting a brand new motorcycle or a bike with one coat of paint, you may be able to do a little bit less of this. But I'm just afraid at this point that we're going to run out of paint because we're using... There's an awful lot of, I'm going to have to reprime this again. But it's picking up, and I can show you the flaw here, one right here. Not sure you can see, but that doesn't show in the primer. The primer doesn't show that effectively. But as soon as you sand it, the sandpaper picks up these little mistakes. Now, when we sand the white, when we color sand the white, we'll pick up even smaller little imperfections. But if you try to skip some of these steps, yeah, I don't know if you're painting a car that's going to go on a used car lot, or you're going to flip a bike or something. But I know Mark is in love with this bike, and not to mention that I like it. All these old two-strokes, we just got to do everything we can to keep them alive, because thanks to our lovely government, there won't be any more, I don't think. Maybe, maybe not. A two-stroke in every garage. Funny, they legalize marijuana, but they can't legalize two-strokes. I don't get that. I'm so sure I get it. Anyway, we're going to be pretty ready for one more coat of primer on this. Sand it out, flaws picked up. And we'll be ready to spray this white. I wish the wind would calm down. Boy, we are, but you can see what happens is your sand dry, it just picks up it just turns it into chewing gum. So you really, well, but this really does pick up the flaws. There's so many little spots on this that are going to need to be fixed. And what I did, I let this first coat dry up, and I'm looking for any little spots. I'll just put a little bit of extra paint on the spots that I think need it. Because those are the spots that when we sand it, they're going to take the most of the finalizing of the bodywork. Down that line. No, I always try to put a little bit extra around the bottom edge because it's always going to rub on the fairing or rub on something. This thing over here is just flapping around and blowing and everything. Now with a little bit of extra paint on the spots that we need to work on, that'll just help. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. Mark, you're gonna be real happy when you see this. Well, hopefully tomorrow you'll be here. This is what we're dealing with all day here. All day. It's just endless, endless. I guess it's a great day to be in a sailboat, but I wanted to see how this is drying up before I clean up for the day. And we've moved the football kind of forward here. This is going to be ready for some color sanding tomorrow or the next day we get to work on it. You never know when a baby's just going to appear. And we don't know if Glenn's going to be able to have some time next week or the week after to work on his project. But you could pretty much see that what's happened is Mark's bike and the Jot's bike, they've taken over the shop. There's almost no room for my bikes anymore. Now, but this has truly been, if you could understand what this word is, it is a labor of love. To bring it up to this level, and now to do the color sanding, which is another, it's going to be another whole day. And we haven't even started the fairing yet. But boy, when this is done, are we going to have one you can put in the bank. And well, I hope Turbo Steve can get those stickers or decals or whatever. Find them on the internet or wherever he's got to get them. So far, so good, Mark.
That is absolutely fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, I too.
What?
I too.
Yeah.
Good deal. I don't see those handles like that very often.
Yeah, real clip-ons.
Clip-ons.
No,
I was expecting it to go, whatever. Absolutely nothing.
It's not your earplugs. Somebody dropped the earplug.
Yeah, thank you.
I was afraid you weren't going to make it, Joe.
Why not?
No, Luciano left already.
Yeah, well,
He missed the show.
what could you do?
You should stop by his house on the way back.
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God.
This time I cleaned it up
there
for
may
the
be
first
some
time in
machines.
years.
I'm fine.
Well, you should.
I know I should.
You should. I got the trophy for you. It's sitting under the tree there. Beautiful. Hey.